Ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned before, love is in the air, and there's so many different ways that we can rekindle and get together on one accord to figure out how we can spark that love and spark that interest. So tonight we have a hypnotist as well who will be speaking with us, Mr. Gene Herschel. Gene, you're on with Miss Diamond B. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Wonderful. I'm doing absolutely wonderful. Gene, this is the time of love. As we mentioned before, sometimes a time of sorrow and loneliness for so many people. But tell us a little bit about what you do and how you are saving lives and relationships.
Well, very often when people are in a relationship for a long time, things happen and people start to feel not as safe as they were in the beginning. They start to look at the future. They see a lot of drudgery because they forget the techniques that they use in the beginning to enjoy the spark, to enjoy the connection. And when you forget these things and that feeling starts to fade, it could get kind of boring. So what I do
Yeah.
for people is I bring back that excitement. I bring them back to that time that they first met so that they're feeling the excitement. They're living the dream of that one first moment lasting for years and years.
Wow. Wonderful. So tell us a little bit about maybe some testimonies, some stories, a little bit about the process in which this works to bring back some of those loving memories.
Well, what happens very often is people get into, like I said, a sort of a rut where they forget why they connected in the first place. They get stuck in the day to day. And what I do is I allow them to bring back the spark. And one excellent, easy way to do it is when you're going home and you're going to be with your partner soon, first thing you should do is go back in time. Go back to the time when the two of you were on a special vacation or maybe a special first date, and remember her face or his face of your partner at that first moment and see that face. Try to smell their cologne or perfume. Remember those moments that you were actually in and bring all that energy when you walk in the door and greet your partner with that.
Well, they say that that's something that is that missing link in so many relationships is that sometimes the memories are just almost lost, and they start to operate from day to day as if that time never happened, as if it never was a time when they walked in and they remember seeing their partner's face and being able to feel that illumination feeling of just being in love and being with that person. And I mean, it's no secret. We know that many relationships decide to just settle and coast, may it be for financial reasons, for reasons of children still being involved in the house or not wanting to interrupt their life. Is there a testimony that you can share with us about a couple who were just really able to just move forward after working with Eugene?
Well, I mean, I can tell you a story. Last year, it actually happened right around Valentine's Day. And this couple came to me, and they both had one foot out the door and one foot on a banana peel, if you know what I mean. They were just ready to throw in the towel. And it was all about communication. They still loved each other. They still wanted that connection. They still were attracted to each other. But from years and years of disappointments and situations that didn't go perfectly, that didn't go the way they wanted to, they started bringing that baggage forward with them. And here's the very interesting thing about the human mind. We forget sometimes that we choose our thoughts. Thoughts don't come into our mind without us giving them at least permission. So if you're going to have thoughts in your mind, why not intend the thoughts? Like I said, go back into that moment when you first met that partner or when you were on that special vacation and you just looked at each other and you knew this was the person. You knew that you were in love and you both felt the same way. Put that picture in your mind make it clear, make it bright, bring it close to you, and really feel it.
Mm.
And when you feel it, walk in and smile at that
Wow.
person. And here's a cool thing: they will feel that picture in your mind, and then, once you have a wonderful night, then tell them the trick. Invite them to join you in those
Yes.
intentional thoughts, not thoughts that happen,
Mm.
thoughts that you intend. That's the magic of the work I do. And that couple that came
Mm.
to me last year, they had forgotten that they were in love. They had just forgotten about that, and they got
Mm.
caught up in the day to day. And that's why they were drifting apart, because they weren't looking at each other and making intentions to connect, making intentions to bring back those memories and overlap them with the present moment. And then you're just
Absolutely.
jumping through your eyes at that person. It's a wonderful feeling.
Yes, I think you said something major when you said people forget that thoughts are it's intentional. They almost act as though, and you could choose your thoughts. You could choose what you want to give power over to your mind, and it just you do. So it seems as though although you work with couples, it's so much individual work that happens in order to recreate that union that once was there, and that teamwork. Although it's a couple's dynamic, it still is reinventing yourself and organizing your thoughts in a way that you feel. And you use the word trick. There was one trick that we were started to talk about a little before that I've heard of. Tell me a little bit about Blame Amy, Jean. Tell me about this Blame Amy.
Well, one of the techniques I use with this couple is, I asked them, do you sometimes get really angry at each other? And they said, yeah. Do you sometimes just want to almost kill each other? Not literally, but just want to just get in there and really cause some damage? And they said, not to actually physically hurt the person, but sometimes I want to emotionally hurt that person. I want to say something that I know will hurt them. So I said, it's
Mm.
not your fault. And they both looked at me with this wonder in their eyes. And I said, it's not your fault. Blame Amy. Now they were confused.
Mm.
And the beautiful thing about curiosity and confusion is that emotion then could lead to any other emotion you can think of. So the next emotion, I
Mm.
said, well, there's a mechanism in your mind called Amy, or Amy G. Dalla, or as the scientists would say, the amygdala. So I call her Amy because, number one, it's more fun, and number two, it's easy to talk about it, because most of my people that I work with, believe it or not, aren't scientists. So
Mm.
I said, well, Amy's job is to keep you safe. That's what she does. But she doesn't want you to get into a situation and already be in danger. So what she does is she switches off the thinking part of your mind, where all your emotions and compassion and your morals and ethics are. She turns that off, and she turns on the reptile part of your mind. And there's a reason for that. 100,000 years ago, when we were walking through the forest and a saber-toothed tiger was creeping up on us, we didn't want to have a debate about animals and about animal rights. We wanted to run or fight. And that's
Mm.
Amy's job, is to give us the power and the resources we need in that moment to run or to fight. Here's the problem,
Mm.
that she starts pattern matching more and more situations that we get into, especially with our partners. And
Mm.
she takes away your emotions, your compassion, your love for that person, and she makes you a lizard because she thinks you're in danger. So she's doing her job.
Mm.
And then we get into something I call the bouncing Amy's, because now one person is going to feel unsafe. They're turning to a lizard. That triggers the other partner to become a lizard. And now you get
Ah.
both partners triggering each other over the smallest little thing. And then we get to a point of total stone Aminess, stone lizardness, where you're basically just two lizards living in the same apartment or same home. And that's a really, really sad thing. So here's how to
Yes.
break out of that. Remember that smile. Invite that smile
Mhm.
back into your mind on purpose. Because just like Google or
Mm.
any other search engine, what's out on the internet? What's out there?
Oh, everything.
Everything,
Any and
exactly.
everything.
But
Any and
at the same
everything. Yes.
time, you call up from everything from billions and billions of pages out there. You call up exactly what you're looking for. How do you do that?
Yes.
You do that by searching for what feelings you want. So, my
Mm.
invitation for all those couples out there is to make a decision of the feelings you want to have tonight and tomorrow night and for the rest of your relationship. Make a decision in your mind of what you're going to search for. When you search that person's face, are you looking, are you angry at me? Or are you saying,
Mm.
what can we do together to make tonight special? Even if it's just words that we
Mm.
speak to each other, even if it's just not words and we relate to each other, we can invite ourselves into those situations and invite those
Mm.
thoughts into our minds.
An invitation for those thoughts to come into your mind. I love that idea, Gene. And I think that is one of the first steps is just being open and receptive to something. And unfortunately, we do have to come to a close soon. But I just want you to talk about some of those pre-notions that people may have, some of the fears that they would have going into this and participating on this experience and journey that you take couples on. Tell me about a few of those pre-notions or stereotypes or um, misnomers that people may have that they should just throw it aside, Dean.
Well, some people think they don't know really what to make of hypnosis. And hypnosis is one of the tools I use in my practice. And what I tell them is hypnosis is just a way to use your mind intentionally. It's a
Hmm.
strong focus on one particular thing, and you could invite yourself to be a powerful thinker, and that's what I coach people into. When I have couples working together,
Mm.
I'm coaching their minds to be stronger. And I
Yes.
sometimes use the tool of hypnosis to get past the fears, to get Amy to calm down, and to create patterns in their future of them being together and having a wonderful time. So when they plan to be together, when they know they're going to be together, they're expecting to have a wonderful night. And guess what Amy's going to
Hmm.
do if she's expecting something wonderful? She's going to sit down and she's going to let the evening flow wonderfully, and she's not going to steal your brain away. She's not going to steal your love and your compassion away. She's going to let you have it and just sit back and watch and enjoy it.
Mm. Wow. Well, Gene, this has been wonderful. This is excellent. Please let all the listeners know how they can get a hold of you, stay abreast of anything that you're doing. Do you have any upcoming projects or events or things that you're working on that they should be on the lookout for, Gene?
Well, one very exciting project this April is I'm actually going to be teaching a class to certify people with hypnosis. So you could learn yourself
Mm.
to be a hypnotist. And that's
Wow.
one job that's really hard to outsource, I'll tell you. This is an exciting, wonderful new field. More and more doctors are asking for my help working with patients that are pre-op and post-op and dealing with all types of day-to-day aches and pains that they just can't seem to get rid of, and they can't medicate anymore for a lot of different reasons because, as you know, when you medicate something, there's a lot of side effects. So I'm working
Yes.
more and more with
That's,
doctors and nurses and other medical professionals to give people the help from constant pain, to free them from that, to free them from weight issues. You know, my clients don't diet, they love eating. They eat whatever they want and they lose weight. And
wonderful.
they just enjoy food more than they ever have in their life. And they automatically lose
Mm.
weight. It's a beautiful, wonderful thing to behold. So I invite you to my
Wow. So,
website. It's www.v as in vital trance, TRANCE. So that's vtrance.com. And my number is 888 963 7245.
Wonderful. Gene, thank you so much. You have truly been a pleasure to interview with this evening, and I would love to hear about your great works and how the training goes. Be sure to stop by the Diamond V Experience once again, Gene.
I would love to.
Wonderful. Have a great evening.
You too.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Be sure to check out that website. And also, I just want to thank you so much for joining me this evening. Do have a loving and blessed Valentine's Day and week. Be sure to check out the archive version of the show at www.blogtalkradio.com/Diamond B Show. I thank you so much for joining me. Hit me up on Twitter, experience_DB. Also, feel free to send me an email at diamondbexperience@gmail.com. Ladies and gentlemen, do have a blessed night. Take care.